Logistics and the ins and outs of what this vote would look like if it starts today. I mean, you remember, you've got the GOP leadership telling fellow Republicans, you know, it's now or never. They've got to do it now, repeal, replace Obamacare. Though a lot of conservatives say this is not the right plan to save the health care system. I want to bring in Peter Barnes on this because, Peter, we're just getting some new reporting that it's almost, I don't want to say impossible, but very unlikely as we get later and later into the day that they can really begin the legislative process. Walk us through what that looks like, Peter.
That's correct, Cheryl, and the situation is highly fluid, but right now we're getting late in the day to get a vote on this later tonight, and that is because of all these parliamentary rules in the House, the rules of procedure that require not just a vote on the actual legislation itself and all the debate that goes around that, which is hours and hours, but a vote on the rules, the process for amending the bill and that kind of thing. That hasn't even been done and completed by the Rules Committee because it doesn't have any final legislation to create a rule for. And as a result, we're now hearing some buzz that this may have to be pushed off till tomorrow because there's not only just, again, the vote on the legislation itself, there's a vote on the rule to proceed, and there's hours and hours of debate around that. So right now, what they're concerned about is the optics, according to sources, that if they went ahead and got a rule and then had debate and then voted on a rule, that would be very late tonight, who knows, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then hours of debate and a final debate midnight or afterwards on the actual legislation, and suddenly you're passing a bill in the middle of the night. The optics of that look bad. So watching it closely. It
depends on how much, again, this is up to Speaker Ryan and his colleagues whether or not he wants to show that. Really, really quick, I do want to ask you, we're hearing some things about the Freedom Caucus, getting the impression now here, but please confirm that they still seem to be a no. Is that what you're seeing or hearing? Right.
Well, we actually, the Freedom Caucus met with the president earlier, as you know, and then back on Capitol Hill, they spoke to reporters. We have some sound. Listen for yourself.
I don't think there can be a vote tonight because they don't have the votes. If there's a vote tonight, it will fail.
We're certainly trying to get to yes, but indeed we've made very reasonable requests, and we're hopeful that those reasonable requests will be listened to and ultimately agreed to.
Mark Meadows there, the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, also said it's ultimately the president who's going to decide yes or no on what happens here, and he said they hope to get to yes before 7 o'clock, and that was earlier. We are going to hear from Speaker Ryan in about 45 minutes at a press conference.
Okay, all right.
We'll get some clarity then.
Good to know. I'm sure we're going to be listening very closely to what he has to say. Peter Barnes, thank you so much for the clarity.